the decimals in each number before doing the operation. Okay, before we add or subtract decimals, we always have to line up the decimal in each number. For example, if I have this problem, this is problem number 1, 545.29 minus 82.5727. Okay? To align something, we have to do it vertically. We have to line it up vertically. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take that problem and I'm going to line it up vertically. So 545, whatever comes first, that's what you have to put on top. 0.29 minus 82.5727. Okay. Now, the second thing that we must do is make sure each number has the same amount of digits behind the decimal. I'm going to add a little thing to that by adding zeros. Okay, so do both of these numbers have the same amount of digits behind the decimal? No. So I'm going to have to add 2 zeros to the top number. Okay. Now it's just a matter of subtracting. Okay? We just subtract. So, if we just subtract, can you take 0 minus 7? No. So I have to borrow, making that 0 a 9. Okay, can I do anything yet? No, I have to go one more number, make that an 8. Now make that a 10. Now I can take 10 minus 7. 10 minus 7 would be what? 3. Okay, can you go 9 minus 2? Yes, and that would be 7. 8 minus 7? 1. Now, can you do 2 minus 5? No, so I have to borrow. Make that a 4, make that a 12. 12 minus 5? 7. Bring down my decimal. Okay, can you do 4 minus 2? Yes, 4 minus 2 is 2. Can I do 4 minus 8? No. So I have to borrow, make that a 4, make that 14. 14 minus 8 is 6. And I get 462.7173. Okay, and now I'm going to take and rewrite the answer down here to make sure it's nice and clear and circle it. Okay. Any questions on that one before I move to my next one? All right, let's look at number 2. And this is how you would do your problems. Put 2 underneath it, skip a line after the answer, put number 2 down. Number 2 says, okay, well, here's a whole number one. 1,452,009 plus 7,639,823. Okay. Same thing here. The decimals would be at where in these numbers? In the first number, where would the decimal be? After what digit? There's not one, but where would it be if you put one in there? Huh? No, not after the 1. Good guess. Emma? No, not after the 2. What's the last number? What's the last digit? 9. So it would go after the 9. So if I'm going to line these up by their decimal, the decimal would be right there. Okay, and then I put plus, and I write the other number, and that decimal would be right there. Now, obviously, I don't need them because there's no other numbers after the decimal. So I can erase them, but you're basically doing the same thing, but these are both whole numbers, so you just line up the place values. Okay? And then you just add it up. Okay? 9 plus 3 is 2, or 12, carry my 1. That would be 3, that would be 8. That would be 11, carry my 1. That would be 9. That would be 10, carry my 1. 9,091,832. Okay, obviously the addition ones are easier because you don't have to do all the borrowing stuff. Okay, and not on all subtraction do you have to do borrowing as well, but a lot of times, a lot of them you do. All right, so let's look at number 3. Number 3 says 85.36. You will notice that I'm writing down each original problem. 14.2 plus 5. Okay, always write the original problem and then line them up vertically. Okay, and align the decimal if necessary. So this one, if we line it up vertically, then we have 85.36, 14.2, and 5. Now, here's where most people make their mistakes. Okay, I see it all the time. 20 years I've been doing this. Seen it for 20 years. Some people will do this. 85.36, 14.2, plus 5. Okay, well, where's the decimal in the number 5? On the left side or the right side? Right side. Right side. Right here. So if the decimal is right there, it has to be lined up, and it has to go this way. That's why we have it right there. Okay? Now, the other thing is we need to make sure that all the numbers have the same amount of digits after the decimal, or behind the decimal. So I need to take and add 2 zeros there and a 0 there. Okay? That gives me 6, 5, 14, bring down my decimal, carry my 1, 9, 10. So 104 104.56. That's your answer. Okay? So, I want you to try number 4 on your own. Okay, number 4. Number 4 says 35.2611 minus 3.6. Give you about 2 minutes to do that one. All right. If you're still working on it, continue to work on it. I'm going to go ahead and do it and make sure we came up with the correct answer. First, we stacked them vertically, so that'd be 35.2611, and then 3.6. Then I'm going to make sure they both have the same amount of digits. So I got to add zeros here, here, and here. So that gives me 1 minus 0, which is 1. 1 minus 0, which is 1. 6 minus 0, which is 6. 2 minus 6 I can't do, so I have to borrow. Make that a 4. Make that a 12. 12 minus 6 is 6. Bring down the decimal. 4 minus 3 is 1. And then you have 3. So 31.6611. Okay? All right, do number 5 on your own. Number 5 says 53.86 plus 7.4763. Looks like most of you got the answer here. We got 53.86, and then I have 7.4763. Add 2 zeros. On addition, it's not necessary really that you add the zeros, but I just in the habit of doing it, so I always do it. Okay, so now you have 3. Okay, now you have 6. 6 plus 7 is 3. Carry my 1. 8 plus 4 is 12, plus 1 would be 13. Bring down my decimal, carry my 1. 1 plus 3 is 4, plus 7 would be 11. Carry my 1. 1 plus 5, 6. So 61.3363. And that would be your answer. All right. Let's look at number 13. You're awful quiet this morning. Hopefully you don't have questions that are sitting there in your mind and you're not asking them. This one here, 2.3, comma, 3.4, comma, 4.5, ... Okay. The directions say to find the next 2 likely numbers in each sequence. Okay. So what is happening to go from 2.3 to 3.4? First of all, do you add or subtract to increase a number? Add or multiply. Okay. But I will tell you this, I think most of these are dealing with addition or subtraction because we're dealing with addition or subtraction in this lesson. Okay? So, to go from 2.3 to 3.4, how much of an increase is that? 1.1. Okay? It's 1.1 increase. Well, how do you find that out? Well, there's basically this way. You just simply take and say 3.4 minus 2.3. That goes 1, 1, so it's 1.1. So I'm adding 1.1 to get from one number to the next number. So if I take 4.5 and I add 1.1 to it, what is that going to give me? 5.6. So that's your next number. If I take 5.6 and add 1.1 to it, what's that give me? 6.7. There's your 2 next likely numbers. Okay. What about this one? 1.9, 1.6, 1.3. It's number 14. So what's happening here? I went from $1.90 to $1.60. I went from $1.60 to $1.30. So what's happening? Michael, what do you think? It's getting smaller, so we're subtracting, but how much are we subtracting? Jonah, help him out. 0.3 or 30 cents, if you want to look at it that way. So we're subtracting 0.3 each time. So that means I have to take 1.3 minus 0.3. Okay, and what do you get there? Well, that'd be 0, and bring down your 1. So that's 1.0. So one of the numbers is 1.0. Then I have to take 1.0 and subtract 0.3 from it. Well, I got to borrow, make that a 0, make that a 10. 10 minus 3 is 7. Bring down my decimal. Okay? And that's your next likely two numbers there. All right, your homework. It is 1.6, 1 through 20. 1.6, 1 through 20. Okay, 1.6, 1 through 20. And that is due tomorrow, obviously. It's always due the next day unless I tell you otherwise.